Hey everybody, I'm back again with another boot review. I thought this time we would look at something just a little bit different. These are the Clark's Desert Coal boots, and I actually have two pairs here, so we'll start off with this yellow one, which actually, the color combination I really like. I do like color, I like bold colors, and the suedes that are produced by Stead are always very high quality and really fun to own. Got some labeling here to show you. It says 220, the original, and we have the CF Stead seal that's in here. Always like to see that. And of course, Clark Originals got a leather insole. These are not your average made in India Clarks. These are actually made in Vietnam. And these boots, I'm going to call this just your average stitch down construction and a crepe sole, which is certified to be natural, which is nice. And they come with contrasting laces. There was a pair of yellow laces, hi Paris, that came with them. Yes, Paris wants to be in the movies here. And I always just wear the black ones. They match the soles. And I just think the contrast looks really nice. So, it's a really simple boot. The differences between these and the desert boots are probably worth talking about. Let me get out my other pair here to show you. There are numerous colors that you can find. This one is kind of a slate blue, and you can see how simple the construction is. There's not a whole lot to it. There is a bit of a heel counter, which is welcome. Helps to stabilize the boots and keep them snugly on your foot. Here's the inside of this one. This leather is lined. I am no expert on what's inside there, but clearly we have blue on the outside and black on the inside. I have read that some of these boots are lined and some aren't. If you have some insight on that, let me know. I don't know, maybe it's just the coloration of the leather. In any case, the leather is hefty. It's definitely sturdy. On the other hand, it certainly doesn't take a whole lot to wrinkle it up. There's a bit of some toe support going on here, but it's pretty minimal, just at the tip. So they're really casual, and they just look like something you'd wear at a picnic or going out to family restaurant, something like that. The differences with the regular desert boots, obviously the sole. So we have a wedge sole here as opposed to the sole with the heel that you have on the traditional desert boot. And one of the things that I'm not as fond of about these is just the weight of the shoe because of that more substantial sole. So they kind of weigh my feet down a little bit more than I would typically want a desert boot to do. They also have 3 eyelets, which gives you just a little bit more possibility to fit these to your foot. I don't know if it's enough of an advantage to really solve the issues with this pretty roomy toe box. I feel like the only way that I could make my feet not sort of wade around in these boots would be to put an insole in there. So in contrast to the heritage boots that we all know and love, the lacing system on these is minimal, and it doesn't really allow you to maximize the amount of support that you otherwise could get from the boot. In fact, the other day, I put these boots on, the blue ones, and I was like, well, let's give these a trial run because I was thinking about doing this video. And after about a mile, I turned my ankle and I ran back in the house and I put my Trumans on because obviously you could sprain your ankle in these. You're not going to sprain your ankle in a pair of Trumans. So from that standpoint, I'm not sure how much use I'm going to get out of these boots. I do like them. I like the look of them. they kind of look collegiate, right? You know, but I had both my hips replaced, and I have to be very vigilant about how I walk. And as Nick English has very cleverly pointed out, one of the disadvantages of sneakers or anything that is sneaker-like, and I'm gonna put this in the sneaker-like category, is that there are many what he calls micro movements, micro adjustments that have to go on for you to remain stable on your feet when you're wearing something like this, as opposed to a Truman where, yeah, you've got room in the footbed, but there are all kinds of different ways to lace it up to adjust for extreme roominess and kind of slashiness inside of the toe box. And also, the ankle is going to be very secure. So on these boots, the ankle, again, it's just not secure. The boots aren't tall enough, and even the laces don't even really go to the top. I suppose theoretically they could add, you know, maybe a fourth eyelet up here, and it might make a difference, or even just make these a hair taller. So they're, you know, they're called boots, but they're not really made to compete with your Iron Rangers, and I'm sure we all know that. I kind of feel like I prefer the regular desert boots because they're a little less chunky, they're less heavy, and yes, I know they don't have a shank and all that stuff, so they even have less support than this wedge sole. I don't feel like we gain enough from this construction to actually resolve the issues in terms of support that you have with the desert boot. And those have just that iconic look that we associate with desert boots. They've been around for decades. That was like the only shoe I would wear when I was around 20 years old. I remember my brother bought me a pair of black ones that I just wore the crap out of those. I absolutely trashed them marching across Europe. I lived in France for a while, and all the cement, all the dog shit that I stepped on, they went to Greece, they went to Italy, they went to Yugoslavia. They just were all over, and I was in love with them. Obviously, my hips were okay back then, so but they didn't weigh my feet down, and they were just super comfortable. So I'm not sure these are actually more comfortable than the regular desert boots. I thought it was worth it to try them. They are more substantial, and they're a little bit different. You know, sometimes it's just nice to have something different. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I'll be curious if you have an opinion about these Desert Cole boots. If you, like Rose Anvil, I remember he did the, you know, the usual cut the boots in half with the desert boots. He was like, oh, these are crap. There's no shank, blah, blah, blah. And then he did the Desert Cole. He was like, well, we've resolved some issues here. That's great. So, I don't know. I think the resolutions are minimal. Maybe you disagree, but I'd be really curious what you think about the Clark's Desert Cole. So again, thanks for listening. Maybe I'll drag out my various and sundry desert boots at some point and share those and see what you think of those. So y'all have a great day. Ciao.